Hello and welcome back to another video. What is this?
No.
Hello and welcome back to another video. And if you are watching this now, it means that finally Adobe Illustrator for iPad is here. So Adobe have announced that it is now live to the public on their Adobe Max conference. If you don't know what Max is, it's a big virtual conference where you can learn loads of stuff. There's seminars, talks from amazing people. I mean, they've even got Tyler the Creator there, freaking Tyler the Creator. So if you want to catch up on the sessions that have happened so far, check out the link below in my bio and you can catch up on everything. I've had the absolute pleasure of using this software for around 2-3 months now, and I've got to say it's changed the way I work. When I go away, you know, when you see your family, you said hello and then you just sit there and go, I really want to draw right now. Well, that has solved the issue for me. I can take it away, do my work on the go, and it syncs up with everything on my computer. Pretty much perfect for me. So today we're going to be going through a full tutorial of how I've been illustrating on Adobe Illustrator for the iPad. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so when you've downloaded Illustrator to your iPad, it should come up as the standard Adobe icon. And if you open it up, if you use Adobe regularly, you're going to be very familiar with these settings. It's almost identical to how it's laid out on the desktop version. So if I just go on to create custom size, I've got all my sizes here. If you want to change them, you just tap them and a little keypad comes up and you can type in all your dimensions. Everything's already set up, so I'm just going to hit create file and then that's going to bring my artboard up here. So when it loads up, again, if you use Illustrator on the desktop, you're going to be really familiar. You've got all your tools on the left hand side and you've got all the appearance edits and transform tools just on the right hand side. So as I said, if you've used this before, it's going to be really familiar. One cool thing that I like is this little circle here. So this is pretty much acting as your shift or command shift button. So it means you can draw straight lines or scale things proportionally. Because I'm left-handed, I'm going to move it over here just so then I can use my right hand to scale things and my left hand to move everything. So to get started, what I want to do is put my sketch just on the artboard. So I want to use this icon here and it's going to open up my photo gallery. So all I need to do now is find my sketch and it's going to put it on the artboard. You'll see underneath this little toolbar has appeared. This appears every time you select an object on your artboard. It's just a quick toolbar to help you edit the appearance of the object you've selected. So I just want to reduce the transparency down to around 20% and then unselect it. And then what I want to do now is just go into the right hand side, into my layers panel here and just lock it. So again, this works exactly how it does on the desktop. If you're already familiar with using layers, this is just going to be standard for you. So I want to add a layer, and then now what I want to do is I want to start going over the outlines of my sketch. So if I just click here, and then that's going to open up my pen tool. So again, if you've used the pen tool before, it works exactly the same, but I prefer using it on the iPad because it just feels a little bit more fluent than it does on the desktop when you're using a mouse pad. So what I'm going to do is just select here and just drag it around, and these are going to make my anchor points. So what I want to do is just go around the outline of my sketch until it starts to loosely marry up with what I have sketched originally. So that section is looking fine. So here are my colour palettes. So if I just hit this icon here, it's going to swap. So it means it's giving it a white outline. I of course want to use a black outline. And then if I just select this tool here, it's going to open up that little toolbox just underneath. And then all I have to do is select this stroke icon and then select the wanted thickness of my stroke. So I'm going to go with something around 10 pixels. But what I want to do is cap the end of my strokes. So all I have to do now is just click on this icon here on the right hand and just select the stroke properties here. So I want rounded ends and rounded corners, just so the strokes look really smooth. So if I close that now, what I want to do is just smoothen up where these strokes join. So I want to use this tool here. This is essentially your direct selection tool, and what that lets me do is select this little node and round off the corner just so it looks smooth. So I'm going to keep doing that until I can't do it anymore. So we've started now, so what I want to do is just begin by filling in the rest of my strokes. So back with the pen tool, and I'm going to do the fingernail. And then if you want to edit any of these again, just use this direct selection tool here, and then you can grab all of your nodes and change them around a bit and round corners. What I want to do with this one is make it a bit thinner. So I'm going to go with something around 6 pixels. And what I want to do is just go around everything that I've done and sketched, so then I have my desired outline. So, okay, now that I've got my outline done, what I want to do now is start adding in my base colour. So I want to go over to my layers panel here, make sure I've locked my top layer, and then create a new one. All you have to do now is just select it and hold it down and just drag it underneath your outline layer. Just close that panel so we can see everything. What we want to do now is use the pencil tool to start shading in our base colours. So if I zoom in a bit. So I've never really used the pencil tool a lot on the desktop version, but using it on the iPad is a complete game changer. It allows me to easily colour in my base colours really quickly, as opposed to just using the pen tool, which didn't really feel that efficient. So we'll just open up my swatches panel. I've already created the colours that I'm going to be using, so select the one that you want, and then all you have to do is just start clicking and dragging it around, keeping inside all of your outlines. So as you can see, I've managed to do this colouring section really quick, which would have taken ages if I did it in the pen tool. So all I want to do is just keep going around until I've almost created a whole shape. If you ever do select out of it, all you have to do is just select it and then hit the pencil tool again, and it's going to pick right back up where you left off. So all you can do is just keep going. Okay, so there my base colours done. So what I want to do now is just go into my layers panel and unlock my outlines. If I make sure that this tool's selected, all I have to do is just click and drag, and then in this little toolbar down here, I just want to hit this icon, and then that's going to group everything. So that just means I can just move everything around as one whole object. So what I want to do use this tool here and just head it down with my finger and rotate, and what it's going to do is it's going to make sure it rotates in 45-degree increments. So when it's like that, I just want to place it to the side, and now what I want to do is copy it, duplicate it, and flip it over to the other side, so you're creating a mirror image of this object. So what I want to do is hit this icon down here, and then all I want to do then is go on to this alignment icon and just hit flip, and then that's done. So I just want to close it, hit this tool again, and then just move it. This just means that it's going to make it impossible for me to move it out of line with this hand. So if I go use my direct selection tool, what I want to do now is just change the skin tone of this hand, like so. So we've got both our hands here, so I just want to group them. Then I can just make sure that they're in the middle of the artboard and where I want them to be, like so. So they're sorted, so just go over to my layers panel, lock the layer, and then bring one of my extra layers to the top, so then I can start adding my shadows and highlights. So what I want to do is go to my pen tool, which is just this icon, and to start off with, just get rid of the fill of the shapes that you're going to be making. So I'm going to start with a pencil just because it's a little bit easier. So just select where you want your anchor points to go, and then once it's all filled in, go into your fill and make a black fill. Then what you want to do, select this arrow and then use this toolbar to just open the transparency settings here and just move this dial down till it's at the desired transparency. I'm going to go with about 30, I would say. And then what you want to do is just use the pen tool to just keep doing this until you've got all of your desired shadows. So they're all sorted now. So what I want to do is just make sure all of those layers are locked. And then I want to be making a new layer and make sure everything is underneath what I've just done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a bit of a gradient background because I want to make it look like these hands are in space. So all I want to do is open up here and double tap it till I can make a square. All I have to do then is drag it to the corners of my artboard, open up your colour palettes, and then go on to gradient here and select which gradient you want. So I want colour to go to this corner and the colour to start at this corner. So if you've used gradients before on Illustrator, it works pretty much identical to that. So I just want to select, go with a light purple, and then on this side make it quite dark. So create a new layer. Again, everything that I'm going to be doing now is more or less underneath the hands that I've got. So I want to create a world behind these hands. So it's really easy on here. So all I want to do is double tap the square icon and select circle. Then if I press this button here, but then move my finger to the outer rim of the circle, what that does, it means that when I create a circle, it's going to create it from the center point. Whereas if I move my finger to here, it's going to create it from either the right or one of the corners pretty much. Where if I select the outer bit, it just means it's going to create it from the middle, and that's exactly what I want. So swap them over and we're going to give it a black outline. Make sure it's around the same as what we've used for the hands, so that's around 10 pixels. And then I just want to make sure that this is in the middle. If at any point you do want to make this smaller, just hit this circle again, move it to the outer rim and make it bigger and smaller from there till you get your desired size. I want mine to be around here. So what I want to do now is I want to add some land to my earth. So if I use the pencil tool, and what I want to do is use this icon here, and I want the lines to be really smooth, so I want to go with about, let's try using around 7. So just select where you want to start and then just move your pencil to where you want it to end. So I'm going to start with doing the C, I think, because all I have to do is just make a circle. Again, use this and use the outer rim and just click and drag till it's around the same size. All I have to do then is just select the corners and shrink it down till it fits in with my earth. Swap the colour over and then pick your blue out. What I like to do is go with the preset blue and then just tweak it from there using this. So I'm going to go with, there you go. I'm going to go with that blue. Then again, if I go to my pencil tool, turn the smoothing down again, because what I'm going to do is colour in the base colour for my land. So same as what we did with the hands really, but you've got to be a little bit more careful because the lines are a little bit thinner. Okay, so that's my earth done and coloured. All I want to do now, back to your layers panel, lock it and create a new layer. And I want to add some shadows just to this side here, because again, light source is still coming from here. So what I want to do is create another circle and then just marry it up with the size of your earth. So around there. Now what I want to do is just copy it, so hit this plus icon and then just move it till it's around here. What you want to do then is just select these two and then go into your Pathfinder panel, which is just here. And what I want to do is select this minus front bit. I think I prefer this Pathfinder panel to the desktop version because it actually gives you a bit of a preview as to what your object's going to look like, so it's a really nice add-on. Hit that, and before you do anything, what you want to do then is convert to a path. That just means now it's one whole shape. If you don't do that, it pretty much means that you can still edit how things are looking if you double tap and use direct selection, but we don't want to do that here. So change your fill to black and then again turn the transparency down. I'm going to go with about 18%. If you want to change it, like change the angle, just rotate it and move it to your desired place. That's looking right for me. What I want to do now is just add a little bit of a highlight just in this section. So what I want to do now, lock the layer, and then on the top layer I want to start to make some stars. So these are really easy to make. I've already got white selected as my fill. Hit this icon here, make yourself a circle and then duplicate it and just move it across. All you have to do then is highlight them, go to your Pathfinder, and then what we want to do, we want to go into the intersect one. So just select it and convert to path. So we've got this nice little shape here, so then all we have to do is just scale it down, hit this plus icon to duplicate it, and then rotate it 90 degrees. And that's pretty much made us a nice star. So we just want to group it by hitting this icon. And I think they're a little bit too big, so I just want to scale it down a little bit. Now all I have to do is just duplicate them and add them elsewhere on my artboard. So just select it, hit the plus, and then just move them around. So lastly, what I want to do now is I just want to add some floating icons around the earth. So all I have to do is create a new layer, which I've already got, and then start creating some circles. So for this one, I want to add a heart in there. So really nice quick way for you to be able to draw a heart is just make a circle, duplicate that circle, and then just move it across to around here. Then all you've got to do is just get your pen tool, select there and here, and then just pretty much make a triangle at the bottom of these circles. And then what you want to do is select each of these sides and just make sure that they marry up with where that circle comes, and do the same on the other side. So we've got that love heart sorted. So what I want to do on this side is I just want to add a bit of a squiggle just to show stroke marks and that you're drawing. So just go to here. If you want to round these sections off, all you have to do is select them and just bring them in a little bit like so. Then just swap it round and make sure, I want to go with a black fill for this. And then for this, just want to do like a little bit of a grid mark. So open the circle panel, make sure I've got white outlines selected. So what I want to just do now is join up these icons, but I want the lines to go below the hands. So all I have to do is lock this layer, create a new one, and I'm just going to drag it so it just sits underneath there. Make sure that my strokes are going to be white, and just select in the middle like that, and then just make the stroke a little bit thicker. So I think we're more or less done with this. So all I want to do is just go over to this icon here and then go quick export as a PNG, and then just want to save the image. So that's all exported as a PNG for me to use wherever I want. And then that should go straight into my photos. So that is how I've been using Adobe Illustrator on the iPad. It's going to be a complete game changer to my workflow, and I can't wait to see what you guys start creating with this. And that is it. So that is how I've been using Adobe Illustrator for iPad to illustrate stuff. Just want to take this time to thank Adobe for letting me be part of this amazing project, and also to thank you who follow and support my work. Without you, none of this would have happened. I mean, it's kind of been a bit of a dream project for me, so I can't thank you enough. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.